If you own one of the Sony APS-C cameras and you like traveling and you don't want to carry around a bunch of lenses, you've probably come across the Sony 18-105. Now, there's a lot of love for this lens, there's a lot of hate for this lens. Today in this video, we'll have a look at the price, the build quality, the specs, and I'll show you a few examples. Price. As of making this video, this lens was brand new on the B&H website for $848, but I think you can get it a lot cheaper if you have a look at the used market. So on the B&H website, it was between $500 and $580 used, and I still think if you look around maybe on Facebook Marketplace or wherever, you can find it for quite a bit cheaper. I picked mine up used for quite a bit less than $500. The build quality on this is what you would expect from a Sony G-series lens. It is mostly metal, the construction, out on the outside in any case. It has, I do believe these are metal or some kind of very hard plastic. No, it's metal zoom ring and some kind of metal focus ring. It looks and feels very solid in the hand. Let's take a look at some specs. This lens has a focal range of 18 millimeters all the way to 105, which is great, and it does that with a constant aperture of f4, meaning as you zoom in, your image won't get darker because you'll have that constant aperture of f4. It also has a little zoom rocker here on the side that you can use. I don't know if you can see that. The zoom rocker there you can use to zoom in and out if you don't want to use the zoom ring. But if you want a little bit more control, you probably use the zoom ring. It has a focus by wire focusing motor, so it's not direct, but there is still the option for manual focus. It has internal image stabilization, or what does Sony call it? Sony calls it steady shot, I think. It has that, and that works great. I'll show you a few examples later on in the video. All right, so now over to image quality. So on a recent trip to Vietnam, I went to the village of Sapa, and I took another trip to Ninh Bình, and our guide said that we'll be doing a lot of walking. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to take a bag full of lenses. I want to take my camera, put a sling around my neck, and use that on those trips. And that's exactly what I did. So the following sequence that you will see was all taken with the Sony a6700 and the 18-105. Now, I must say that I'm pretty impressed with the image quality that I was able to get out of the Sony 18-105, but you decide for yourself. Now, let's have a look at the zoom range with a few tests. First up, let's do the zoom test from 18 millimeters to 105 millimeters, this time with no stabilization. This is zoom range 18-105. This is without any stabilization. This time we're enabling standard stabilization. This is the 18-105 with standard stabilization. And for those who want a really steady shot, this is it with active stabilization. As you can see, it crops in a little bit, but I cannot tell that there's a significant loss of image quality. Now, let's see. Is it wide enough to vlog with? I held this lens out at about an arm's reach and did the following tests. First, again, with no stabilization. And here's a vlog test, this time with no stabilization. Now we have the standard stabilization turned on. This is with standard stabilization, the 18-105, and let me go this way. And this is with the active stabilization. And this is with the active stabilization in the Sony a6700. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think that the standard stabilization, that's just the stabilization in the lens, and I believe a little bit of the IBIS of the camera, to my eye, it looks a little bit better in some circumstances than the active stabilization. But it has another trick up its sleeve, or not really the lens, but Sony cameras in general, as you can raise the shutter speed a little bit and turn off all stabilization and then stabilize the footage in Catalyst Browse. And this is what that looks like.
Made the truth be told, I was down bad, now I got it on go. Finna count my dough till my thumb got slit. Put my neck on glitz, put my name on the list. Finna shine on the fucking jump. From the bay, been player one, way too clean. I was born this way.
All right, now let's see how well it follows the subject. So I've asked my daughter Maya to just run towards me, and let's see if it can lock onto her eyes.
From the bay, been player one, way too clean. I was born this way. This my DNA. I was EBT, now the bread on the way was the ETA.
Well, it certainly does a very good job at that. So, as with all lenses, they will have their pros and cons. Pros, definitely, this is a one-size-fits-all lens. It has a great focal range from 18 millimeters on the wide end all the way to 105 punched in. And then you can also use Sony's clear image zoom if you want that little bit more reach. It has an internal zoom, so of course it's not gonna, if you have this on a gimbal, it won't unbalance the gimbal as you zoom in and out. It has great build quality, it feels well in the hand, it balances well in the camera. Cons, well, there aren't really many that I can think of. The biggest one would be the f4. That's the f4 aperture would be my biggest con for this lens. As I really wish that it would have been a little bit more, you know, towards the f2.8 side of things. That would have given us just that little bit more subject separation. Now, if you're wondering if you can use this, you know, for close-ups and having the background blown out, I did take a few shots of that. And here you can see our model Maya. And I think it does a really good job of actually isolating the subject and blurring out the background. You might want to take a few steps back if you do that and not have the camera very close to the subject. But in this case, I was about 6 feet away. Now, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you want to, you can subscribe and like the video if this helped you at all. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.